Hi, I'm Max Eberle. Welcome to day 3 of my free pool mastery boot camp. Okay, in day 1 we talked about controlling the cue, controlling our hands. Day 2 we talked about finding the stroking line and just being able to stand behind the cue ball and see the line you want to stroke down before you get down and shoot the ball. Okay, so now that you can start to see the stroking line and you get that concept, you need to add a measure of consistency to your game so that you set up nicely, shot in and shot out, and you can give yourself a chance to become consistent in your shot making and in your pool game. So the main concept here is to put your back foot on the stroking line. And let's just say the ball of your back foot, it could be your toe, it could be your heel, but let's say the middle of your back foot on the stroking line. So we know how to find the stroking line, so let's put your back foot. If you're right-handed, it's going to be your right foot. Okay, so my right foot's on there. Now I'm going to get down on the shot. Notice my hand is kind of close and I'm leaning backward. That's because my right foot is too close to the cue ball. Now if I started way back here with my right foot, I'd be leaning over, my balance would be all up front. So it becomes obvious that you have to have a good feel of your distance between you and the cue ball and become very consistent with your distance. So what I want you to do is just address the shot to where you're comfortable and balanced. You know, find that nice balanced spot. Find out where your back foot is. And now become especially aware of where your back foot is in relation and distance to the cue ball. So you can do this all by eye if you want. Just find your stroking line and remember the distance between you and the cue ball. And that should be enough for you to get down and be properly spaced and balanced in your stance on the stroking line. Remember, you can only do this once you find the stroking line. That's the only way to actually place your back foot on the stroking line. It sounds really obvious, but so many people skip that step. They don't really know about it. So remember, it's really important. Again, back to day 2, find the stroking line first, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 ways, 2 more ways to do this. One is by eyeball. Another way, just put the tip right up at the cue ball of your cue on the stroking line while you're just standing back here. You're looking down the stroking line, and now your eyes are right on that line and you're way behind the cue. Now, with the stroking line in front of you, now you can actually place your back foot on that stroking line and you can see it because you're looking at it. Okay, you can only do this if you're actually back far enough from the cue ball. And remember, don't put your tip at different distances from the cue ball every time. Put it at the exact same spot behind the cue ball, exactly on the stroking line, and now you can start to become precise. Find where you want your right foot, and now you can use the back of the cue to place it in the exact same spot, the same distance from the cue ball. And now with your back foot on the stroking line, proper distance, you can pretty much set up perfectly every single shot. Now you're going to have a huge advantage for getting better, and what 99% of the players out there aren't really aware of. You're becoming very consistent now. Okay, so now that I have my back foot placed, control of my cue, I know my stroking line, now I'm going to have a great stance every time I get down there. Now I can make the fine-tuned adjustments to my stance that I need to in order to improve. Now that I have that understanding of spacing between me and the cue ball. And that gets into a lot of detail. I cover that in my DVD series, Powerful Pool, World Class Fundamentals, because there's a lot of different challenges people have in setting up their stance. A lot of different fixes that you can do that I do get more detailed there. For now though, this is great. I mean, this is worth a lot right here. Just to find the distance, to be consistent, distance between you and the cue ball on the stroking line. You can pretty much make anything work from here. Okay, so another way would be just come up here right next to the cue, look at the stroking line, and with your cue on that line, just have have your foot under the back of the cue. Now you're there already. Instead of going through this process where you're back here and then stepping into it, you could just come up to where you think you need to be, get your cue on the line, put your foot under the same place under the cue, and there you are. Alright, so once you get down there, you want to take some practice strokes. So you're the right distance. Now you're down here. Now you want to check and see if you're on that line and get some motion. You don't want to be too stiff here. It's going to cause tension and anxiety if you're just stiff. Remember that you're actually practicing your stroke, seeing if you're on line, seeing if you're hitting the cue ball where you want to hit it. Alright, so really important right there. Find your stroking line and then get your back foot set up on the stroking line, the same distance from the cue ball every time, and you're much further along in your way to mastering pool. Thank you, and stay tuned for day number 4.